Hey boys, hey! Welcome back to my channel. It's Mama Beauties here. Welcome to all the new folks. I'm so happy to have you. This is a place where we do not hate, we participate, we articulate, we speculate, and if you don't act right, we'll have to regulate. We do not spill tea, we do not cast shade, and we do not throw dirt. This is a place that we can agree to disagree. I am super excited to have all the new subscribers. I want to tell you really fast how Saturday Survivor Story works. And just a couple of rules that we have. We bring somebody on that has survived either addiction, domestic violence, a medical issue, and we let them tell their story of how they survived it. And as they tell their story, we show them respect. We do not turn the chat around onto something else. We are taking a break from Harley, you guys. We will update you on everything we know on Monday, but out of respect to the family that does care about him and the friends that he genuinely had, we want to show respect and silence over the weekend to let these people mourn. So we will be back with that. Just show respect to our survivor tonight, which is Susie, and save your questions until the end. You can definitely show support to Susie in the chat. You can uplift one another in the chat, but just do show respect. It is really hard to come on here and share this. Also, if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, you guys. We are trying to hit 2,000 subscribers so I can do my giveaway. There's a giveaway. I have some skincare products I'm trying to give away. They're from Mary Kay, who I am a consultant for. And if you would like my website, it's down below. Also, we have a lot going on in Patreon coming up on February 1st. So you want to get in my Patreon, that's down below. On February 2nd, I'm going to pick up reading the discovery documents from Chris Watts. So you don't want to miss that. You want to make sure that you're in my Patreon, which is down below. You can get in for as little as $3 a month. Also, that gets you access to a Facebook group that is private. A lot of people have been trying to get in that Facebook group, but they get declined because they're not part of my Patreon. You have to be part of my Patreon to be in Mama Beauty's Patreon on Facebook, you guys. So it does you no good to send me a request to join if you have not joined my Patreon. What else? These wonderful French manicure, you guys. I have had these bad boys on since almost a week, going on a week. They're 100% real nail polish stickers that you just stick right on, trim and file downward and go. There's no dry time. They're not sticky, tacky, nothing. They're 100% real nail polish stickers that are only $5 a pack. It comes with 18 double-ended strips, which you can get 2 fingers out of 1 strip. So enough on that. I am trying to get Daisy Rage, that is in the chat, to start her channel. She is the one that brought us everything on Harley, and I would love for us to show her love and go subscribe to her channel, hopefully giving her an extra push to create content for us. You've heard her voice before. You'll love it. Trust me, I've never steered you wrong. And I think that is it. Oh, yeah. Let me give Daisy the wrench. Oh, it won't let me do it right now. It used to. That's so weird. I think I have to do it after the video is done and when she comments down below the video. I don't think I can make her a moderator during the video, but let me just see again. Yeah, it says put user in timeout or block user. That's all it says. So I am a hot mess express tonight, you guys. I'm taking care of my granddaughter. I have my son here. I just got the dog to leave. So whenever you're doing all that, there ain't no time for yourself. So I am not trying to look all cute. This is pretty much yesterday's makeup. I threw on some lip gloss and some mascara and some earrings and called it a look. Perfect. I'm so glad. I got some of my favorite people in the chat tonight. I'm super excited about sharing another survivor story with you guys. Then tomorrow we will be finding out about Amaria Hall from Trenton, Michigan, who is missing, and we're going to spread the word on that. This, for those of you that are new, this is a true crime channel that is also covering just all kinds of things about life. I'm an aspiring life coach. I am working on getting my certification right now, but I'm actually practicing as a life coach, as it does not require a degree to get started, and you have to have 600 hours of actually, I believe, paying hours. But if I'm wrong, don't quote me on that because I haven't started the certification yet. But from everything that I've researched and read, you don't have to have like any kind of degree to do it. And I have experience in grief. I have experience in getting a career on track. I have experience in domestic violence. I have experience in poverty and how to make sure that you never end up in it. And I have experience on just so much life experience that I would be a fool not to become a life coach. Just if I could just help one person not go down the roads that I did, because I mean, hindsight is 2020, and that's all I want to do is pave the way for you to succeed. All right. I love you guys so much. Also, I do pop-up shops on Friday where I just have inventory of Mary Kay that I have on hand and these nails that I have on hand. I have so many different kinds besides the ones I have on, the French manicure. And these are my real nails, you guys, because they make your nails so strong. So bringing this to YouTube was the best thing I ever could have done, because the business or the company that I do it with is very small. It's not like this huge direct sell thing. It's just a small company where you can join for free. You don't have to buy a kit, and you can have a website for free. So if you are interested in becoming a consultant with MAMABUDEEZ, please email me, because it won't cost you a thing. You won't even have to give any credit card numbers, nothing. You can get a website and be all set up, ready to sell without spending a dime. If you just email me and I'll walk you through it. And there's no hidden agenda, no hidden fees. You just become a nail rep, and if people go to your website and buy them, great. If they go to you and buy them, great. However you want to do it, you get to decide. It's like your own little business. Nobody's really your boss. Hi, Donna. Hi, BS. Thank you for clearing it up for me about the nail gun, love. You're absolutely right. It was probably notifications on his phone. You know, we just get so emotional and wrapped up in these things, and that's how come I appreciate everybody's comments. It's long as you deliver them in the appropriate tone, you will not get blocked. I hate how people say, oh, I disagreed with MAMABUDEEZ and she blocked me. No, it was the way that you delivered your disagreement that got you blocked. It's the way that you approached it. I am so kind-hearted and walk on eggshells with you guys to make sure that I'm gentle and caring and compassionate. I always worry about, oh my God, did I say the wrong thing? I hope I didn't influence somebody to do something stupid. But, you know, if I'm going to be so kind and gentle and nurturing with my subscribers, then you guys got to be that way with me. If you have a choice of whether or not to watch me, I don't have a choice whether or not to read your comments. You're in my house over here. So if you don't like what I'm saying or what I'm putting out there, you're free to roll. You're free to unsubscribe and roll out. So just remember that on how you are delivering. And we have Susie here right now. All right. Hey, girl. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And there's no echo, so it's perfect.
Great. Great, great, great. Oop, I think I hit something. Okay. So I can't see chat here. Is what it looks like. I'm just trying to
It
figure
should
this
pop
out.
up in a minute. I think Brandy said she couldn't see it either, but then in a minute it came up. Let me just double
Okay.
check. Where does she click to see chat, Brandy? She's in the comments, actually. First of all, let me say I'm so happy that you decided to come do this. I'm honored that you are willing to share your story with us and super proud that you are doing it here.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. I'm very nervous, as you probably can imagine, but we'll get through it. There's a lot to tell, and I kind of don't know where to start, but the basics of my story would be touching on addiction and narcissism from my ex-husband. So, should I start now?
Yes, and it's great that you're
Okay.
doing narcissism because I'm getting ready to cover the book on My Daddy is a Hero, and she talks a lot about how he had narcissism. And this is amazing that we're going to get an actual story, real life story of someone that had it. So go ahead, you start wherever you want.
Okay. So I'm 48 now. I have 5 children. Started out young. At 18, I had my first daughter, and I was married for about 2 years, and that ended probably 3 years later. And there was nothing, too major going on with that. I think it was just kind of, we were young and, silly and weren't ready for commitment at that point.
Right.
So I had my 2 kids. They were 2 and 3 years old. And then I was just kind of, dating in between, dated some guys that were crazy and all that. But my pain, one of the reasons why I started on my addiction stories, I've had pain in my legs since I can remember, like 6 years old. My mom left us when I was 8, so somewhere between 6 and 8, my pain started, and I would go, tell my parents, and they would take me to the doctor, and they would say, "Oh, it's just growing pains," and so, I'm just a little kid, so okay. But it was to the point where I wouldn't go, like I wouldn't stay at my friends' houses for, more than a few days because the pain would be so bad it would keep me up at night. And that really never went away, as I got older, to the point where, I'm in like my 20s still crying at night, and I would just like hit my legs. And at one point I got to the point where I was cutting them because I just couldn't stand the pain anymore. So, I just did a lot of Motrin and things like that. So I was dating a guy and I had my 3rd baby. I wasn't married with him, but after I had my 3rd son, I went to the doctors. I had been to the doctors throughout all that, and I'm like, I just can't really take this anymore. I'm a medical assistant, so I'm on my feet, quite a bit. So at that point, they started me on pain medications, something, basic like Vicodin type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, as you stay on that, and, after a while, you need more because your pain tolerance goes up and up. So I went to a pain specialist, and he put me on, something higher. So by the time after 3 years of doing this, I was on OxyContin 80 milligrams, oxycodone 30 milligrams, and fentanyl patches.
Wow.
So, right.
And
So,
how old were you at that point?
let's see, I was 32 so it started in my 30s of when I was going into the big narcotic type situations.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was trying to work with that, and being on that kind of medicine. I had worked for the same doctor for 12 years, so they let me work from home part of the days, and then I went there. So they were really cool about it for a long time. And then, I started to, when you get on narcotics, you either take too much or you're up and down because you're sick or you don't have enough, or, you get into situations like that. So my work was starting to be affected by it. And after 12 years, I got fired. It was because the reason was because I didn't come, I was late all the time. I have a late problem, a procrastination problem, still to this day. But anyway, so that was really hard working for him for 12 years. But I understood, and I think it was kind of time for me to go and see what else I could do. So during the time in between my kids, I was dating one guy, and he was a crystal meth user, and I didn't know anything about crystal meth. And so he left me, and I was so heartbroken over that. So I was like, what is crystal meth? And oh, that's why he stayed up all the night, all night long. And so I started figuring this out. My one of my friends had it, and she's like, you want to try it? And I'm like, well, I don't know. So anyways, I ended up doing that, and that led down to another, drug that was not good to be on. So, with my fibromyalgia and, excuse me, my pain issues, fatigue, chronic fatigue, and, all that stuff, it helped me just so I can have energy and get up. Because, with fibromyalgia, you just don't know when you have days where you're just not going to do good. And then the high narcotics on top of it. So for a while, it really, helped me, gave me that push that I needed. And then, eventually that became into a horrible addiction. So meanwhile, my friend that I had been friends with this whole time, she had a nephew, and he was 9 years younger than I. And I remember he was going to prison, and he said, I want to be like my dad. His dad was in and out of prison. And I just thought, man, how sad is that? And so this was like before I got fired and all that. So he went to prison. I hadn't heard from him. So after, when I did get fired, shortly after he got out of prison, and I was like, oh man, I didn't know how long you were going to be in there, and things like that. And he's like, oh girl, I've been wanting to be with you since I was young. And I'm like, boy, you're like 11, like I said, 9 years younger than I was like, yeah, right. I just thought it was cute, whatever. Well, anyways, we started seeing each other, and, I had known him. I know his whole family, best friends with,
Right.
family members this whole time. So, we started seeing each other, and he was, I'm sorry you're going through this, and, let's be together, and this, and I, was first surprised. But anyways, we ended up getting together, and, he was, you're so beautiful, and let me take care of you, and, all the things that you want to hear. I've taken care of 3 kids so far by myself, and I've, and I kind of, knew his family, and I felt like I trusted I would be safe with the situation. My parents, when my dad had just died, and, I had some money. So anyways, we got married pretty quickly. I got pregnant pretty quickly. And before I got pregnant, I was, when you take your pain pills and you have to wait 20 minutes before you feel better. And he's like, I could show you, how to shoot that so you'll be quicker. So he taught me how to use the needles, and it just became so out of control. So, anyways, we have 2 kids. I did get on disability because he told me, I will take care of you. Let's sell your house. This will be a time for you to, just relax, let somebody take care of you for once. And, get on disability while I worked and this and that. So I was like, really, can I trust this? But I did trust him. And so we got married, and by the time we got back from our honeymoon, I walked in on him watching porn, doing inappropriate things in my kids' room. And I was like, what? So, things were just, I was starting to wonder. He was, just, still putting me on a high pedestal, but doing things that I had to question. So we moved into another house because we were never stable, because he wasn't working. He'd work for a week or two here and there, and we'd struggle. And I'm like, man, I just sold my house. What did I get into? My dad's car. He's like, oh, let's just pawn it. We'll get it back. I lost that. My, the camper, we'll just pawn it. And my camper meant everything to me. Lost that, and I'm starting to like freak out here because I'm losing everything I have, with no job. His family's starting to not like me, and I couldn't quite understand why. He would, the family, I guess he was telling them all these lies that I don't do anything, and I, just sit at home and this and that. Well, it come to the point where he wouldn't allow me to leave. We lived out east, so it was like a good almost an hour to get to town.
Well,
And
what made you stay with him? Like, what did he say to you was his reason that he was in your kids' room? Like, when you come, or did you just not confront him?
um, well, he that was just a place to go because the kids were with me, and
Okay.
I guess he had a porn addiction that I didn't know about,
Okay.
so
Did you have like a place to watch it somewhere else? Or was that the only place with the DVD player or with the cable box or whatever?
well, I mean, we had it in my room when the kids weren't in there, like if at nighttime, but he had it like hidden underneath their bed, a DVD player and all that, and had it like all set up. And when I
Mm,
walked in, I was like, what the heck, what is this about?
okay.
So that was
Go
kind
ahead.
of
Sorry.
creepy. Okay. um so like I had paid cash for our truck, but I wasn't allowed to leave. He and at that time I'm taking care of two babies, so I was like, okay. And then I had a toothache, and he wouldn't take me. It came to the point where I couldn't talk to my friends. Even my oldest son, I wasn't allowed to tell him where we lived.
Wow.
I know that he has physically abused other women before or be after us, because I'm friends with them now. But he never physically abused me, and I'm wondering, because I had older sons, I think that he was probably afraid of that, 'cause they would do something, and they have since. But
Mm-hmm.
not letting me have friends over, or not letting me have the phone. He took the money. I was in charge of no money. By that time I was getting disability, but that's all the income we had because he was too lazy to work.
Mm.
So I didn't know what he was doing. And oh, and the meth, when he first got out of prison, he did not want to do it because that's what he was in there for. So that started becoming a big deal because I didn't do it around him, because I thought, well, he's had that problem, so I stopped that. And then come to find out he was started it, and I'm like, and then we're both doing it, and then the kids. So at that point, we had like people over a few times we played poker with. I found out he was trying to date the lady that was over at our house playing poker.
Wow.
My son, when he got out of jail, the one that he wouldn't let know where we lived at first,
Mm-hmm.
well, he was in jail, and he said, well, his girlfriend can come stay with us for a few days. Well, I found out he had slept with her in my house, my son's girlfriend.
Mm.
So I'm finding out all these things. It's getting to the point where I'm trying to find rides that, so I can, get some help. The police had been called many, many times. And
so,
one day, I'm sorry.
oh, okay. I thought you were saying that as in present tense, like you still live with them. I was like, whew.
No, 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 no.
Continue. Forgive me.
No. So, it was like I'm done. After they found out about my son's girlfriend, I'm done. Let's, just get out. So we're fighting over the house. The police ended up coming many times. So the next few days, he had brought his new girlfriend to my house that I had paid for.
Oh, hell
So
no.
I ran her off that night. I'm like, do you realize that he's married? And she's like, I didn't know. And I'm like, get that, I'm screaming. So she ran, down the street. Well, the following day, he brought her back on his Harley. And I went in there, and I had my other son there. I went in there and got a gun. And I was so mad that he had the nerve to bring her to my house that I paid for. Thank God my son was there and grabbed that gun out of my hand, because I was just livid and disrespected, and I don't know what would have happened.
They were trespassing on your property and you took it old school. Unfortunately,
Right.
you would have ended up in the one in prison, but there was a time when that was appropriate. That's the way people handled things back then.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yep. So the next incident, the police came, and I got so mad because he would lie and they believe him for some odd reason. And they, try to, say, calm down. And I flipped him. I said, don't touch my hand. Well, it got aggressive between me and the officer. And they arrested me. And well, I didn't get arrested. I got sent to detox. And they found those patches on me and stuff. So I had to stay there for 5 days. And I knew that we only had a few days to get out of my house. So I literally could not leave there. So I lost everything that I owned. Every single thing that I owned. Yeah.
So they put locks on the house and you couldn't get in there after those 5 days were up. It was like court ordered.
Right, exactly.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
Honey, I've been there before.
My mom was from Germany, my dad from Hungary. So just those things were just heartbreaking. So, his family are thinking, oh, I'm crazy and I'm this and that. And, there was nothing I could say to make them believe me, because they believed their son. I didn't have any, my friends, nobody helped me. So it was just, horrible battle. So eventually, long story short, he did lose custody of the kids. We had to go to court, and I stayed clean for a year. They UA'd me every week, and he didn't. He went back to prison with that girl that he cheated on me with. So I got, I never lost the kids' custody. I just had to go through that, court process. So that was 4 years ago. But still to this day, he gets the kids angry. He'll tell them horrible things about me, lies about me. He's just you can't say anything to him. His mom just passed away, and I'm even trying. I'm like, look, I changed. Let me help you change for the kids. Our kids are suffering because they're so torn, because, they see what their dad, is doing, with the drugs. It's so obvious. So I begged, please let me help you. And there's just nothing. So I'm to the point where I'm having to make a decision of trying to get my kids away from him again, but I'm scared. He's in a biker gang, and he's already threatened me and my older sons. With with their gangs that they'd kill me, and so I have a restraining order against them. And
the judge granted your restraining order, though, so that's good. There was enough evidence to show that he was doing these things, because if it wasn't true, then it would have got thrown out in court. So I'm so sorry that you are having to go through that. How long have you been where you're at right now?
4 years. 4 years.
So
Yeah.
you'd be uprooting 4 years of your life to go
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Well, my daughter lives in excuse me, Virginia, and she said just come here and come here quickly and don't worry about details, just get here. But I can't leave state without the judge saying so. And so
Mm.
finally since his mom passed away, his mom paid all his bills for him, and he's done lost his house, lost all these things, which before they blamed it all on me. And finally, after all these years, I had the family, well, maybe it wasn't you. Maybe,
Good.
and I'm like, geez, after all this, why couldn't you just believe me? But
Mm-hmm.
so it's, I now I don't like to be seen or heard from. Like, I stay in my house, I'm depressed because, oh, you're fat and you're ugly and you're worthless and those kind of things. I haven't gotten over.
And it'll take a while, honey. It's too fresh. I trust me. It took me a long time too. I was told the same things. I look better with
Right,
my clothes on, and your teeth look like a horse's ass. I mean,
right.
they belittle you to make themselves feel better.
Right, exactly. And I
So
know that's what he's doing, but it's still, when you've been told that for so long,
real
it's hard.
damage. It's
Yeah,
real damage.
yeah,
And you will probably tear up for it. It could trigger you 10 years from now. People need to
right,
understand that about real pain. Time does not heal. It's just, it gets easier.
right. But I need to work. I could work part-time. I'm on disability, and I'm struggling here. He doesn't pay for anything, and I have so much anxiety about even getting a job. I mean, I don't know. I'm
But he'll mess it up for you,
right,
because that's what they do. They'll either call so much or show up there, and they end up making it so hard to where you can't make it. And it's
right,
almost worth going to Virginia and thinking about doing it out there with your daughter so you can get a fresh start without him breathing down your neck.
right. Well, the last time that I had access in his house before all that happened, I took pictures of all the drug pipes and the things that my kids are all, they had to do is just
Smart.
open up a cabinet and it's there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and, my son's like, Mom, this is your responsibility protecting the kids. And if you don't do something about this is on you. And, but my son loves his dad so much. And I'm just like torn because I know that I've changed, and I'm like, why can't you change? But I also know he's a narcissist, so he don't even think he's done anything wrong,
Right.
So I
And
have the court papers.
you
Mm,
just never know when they're going to cross the line with him and he's going to respond to them like he has these other people. I mean, even narcissists don't have that true connection with their children. Their children might be connecting with them. Their children might be genuinely loving them, but they don't
right.
know how to love back in return. And so you're
Oh
not
no.
really stealing anything from them except for your child's love for him because the
Right.
man doesn't love him. And that would
Yeah.
be hard for your son to ever accept because that's just unimaginable to children.
Right. My son's been waiting for 2 days. He's been saying he'll show up, and he just now showed up. And my daughter doesn't like to stay over there because when they were little, they seen the pornography, he'd leave on the TV on accident or whatever.
Mhm.
And so she's had issues with that, and, the therapy. And so I don't know. I know that I'm off all my pain medications. All that's been taken care of. So that's good.
You go,
And
girl.
I haven't used. So, and I'll
I'm
never
so
be with the
proud.
guy again.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
Right.
I have not been with a man in 4 years myself, and I've only been sober for 2. So
Right.
even for 2 years before I got sober, my drugs were more important than men. So don't worry, that is not abnormal these days.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, bless. I'm sending you
Yep.
a big old virtual hug, sister. I'm so proud of
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Still a lot to work through, but I feel like the main ones are, you know, been, kicked out of the way. So just got to work on getting myself together and getting these kids into a safe place. And so we'll go from there. I have my court papers ready to file, and I go down there quite often, and I just walk away. It's just hard to do. First of all, I'm afraid for my life. Second of all, I'm just, it's just a scary thing.
I completely understand. And is there any like support system that can like the day he gets served with these papers, is there any way that you could either get the judge to give you permission to leave before he gets the papers and just come back for court? Or is there somebody that can come and stay with you while he gets the papers if the judge won't sign?
Uh-oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
something happened with my headphones. I don't know if they died or what, but you can still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Okay.
It's perfect.
I can hear you,
Did
but
you
not
hear
through
what?
my headphones.
Did you hear me though?
I didn't hear the last thing you said, no.
I said, is there any way that before he gets served those papers, that the judge can sign off for you to go ahead and go to Virginia because you're scared of his retaliation after he gets the papers? Or
Right.
if that's impossible, is there somebody, a support system around where you're at that can come and stay with you while he gets the papers? And if that's
Right.
not an option, is there a domestic violence shelter that will take you guys in before you go to Virginia because they hide you out in those places? I've stayed at a few myself across the country.
Right. I actually haven't looked into any of those things, but those are good things to think about, to look into for sure.
Okay, well, I want to make sure that you keep in touch with me every day and we talk about this process of getting you safe before you file those papers.
Right. Right.
I'm so proud of
Okay.
you for sharing.
Thank
I'm so
you.
proud of you for making this decision and coming on here and letting us be involved in it. I'm
Well,
honored.
I'm honored to be here. I don't reach out to many people, but I can tell that you have that spirit of something decent. I
Oh,
spent the last 4 years in my Bible, and that's I read and study so much, and I think that's helped me get through so much.
oh yeah.
So I
I
count on Jesus
I
plenty.
tried to quit drugs so many times, and then the only way I was able to do it is through God. But so
Right,
many people have their own way. I don't cram that down anyone's throat. A lot of people don't know that, but yes, it is because of my relationship with Jesus that I got
exactly.
off all my drugs too.
Yeah. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about religion, but maybe sometime if you're ever interested, I could tell you what happened and how I got off all the drugs. It has to do with the Lord. So maybe
Yes,
another time.
yes, definitely. And we can share it with each other too, because I have a similar story, and that's awesome that you just said that. That makes
Cool.
me feel amazing. And there's girls in the chat that are saying the same thing. They're saying, "Stay strong, Susie. Absolutely proud of you." Is there an abuse shelter you guys can stay in while he gets served? Yes, stay safe. I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you for
you.
sharing. Hugs and prayers. Someone else, Chronic said. Um, Anna says she has a great relationship with Jesus too. And so, I mean,
Wonderful.
you are getting love in the
Well,
chat.
thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
ladies. I can't see the chat, so I appreciate it so much. I'll have to go back and listen to it.
Well, Brandy said that there's a button if you're on your phone. She says there's a button all the way at the bottom that you have to hit that says chat.
Yeah, I tried that and
Oh,
not.
weird. Okay, love. Well, we will make sure that you get to read. Oh, where'd you go? Oh no, why does that always happen out of nowhere? I don't think she meant to do that. Maybe she'll come back. Well, wasn't that just such a blessing, you guys? How open and honest. I mean, it's just refreshing to hear people just tell their human mistakes, and that, everybody's posting on social media how perfect they are and how they did this and how they just ran 100 miles and ate a carrot salad. And, they are sitting there on the couch. And it's just great to hear people's truth in their survival stories and what they've overcome and how they got on the other side of things. And we're so lucky with Susie that she's in the process of it, you guys. She is just starting her journey. And so that was super exciting to have her share that with us, because normally we see it on the other side of it. And so she's on the other side of her addiction for sure. I'm so proud of her. But we're going to help her get through this last little push to get her and her family safe. And see how people are brought to us for a reason. She didn't know those things that she needed to know that before she files those papers. Something was making her not file them every time she went to this courthouse. And one of the things was that she was scared for her life. And so maybe we were supposed to intervene. Maybe we were supposed to be here to make sure that she takes one of those routes where she's safe and in Virginia, or she's safe in a domestic violence shelter, or she's safe with an armed officer in front of her house when it happens, or whatever it takes. We are a community here that uplift each other. If you have a survivor story and you want to come on a Saturday night and share, every Saturday at 8 p.m., there's somebody else here sharing what they have overcame. So I would love to have you, if you are interested in coming on and sharing. This is my email. Feel free to email me and I will get you on next Saturday's schedule. It's open, wide open for next Saturday. If 8 p.m. is not good for you, we can do it anytime on a Saturday you would like. Anytime. I just like 8 p.m. because the people usually choose, or I do it when my granddaughter's asleep because I keep her on the weekends sometimes. Well, every weekend, actually. Yes, we do love you, Chronic. I concur, Julie. I concur. You're so welcome, Susie. You were an absolute blessing. I don't know what happened. I wasn't kicking you out. Love it. Oh, it's okay, love. I see you hit the wrong button. It's okay. Well, we thank you so, so much. And I thank each and every one of you. And I think in honor of Harley, you guys, this weekend, just hold your children tight. That's all he really wanted, was to be seen. All he really wanted is to have his parents, give him attention and love him. And so I hate video games, you guys. I despise them, but I'm playing Roblox with my son this weekend. I've already did it today. I promised I would do it again tomorrow. And it is like nails on a chalkboard for me. But that's what he wants. That's what he likes. And so I think Brandy told me, I think it was Brandy the one that said this. She said, Harley made us all better moms. And he really did. We're all more attentive now because we just know how these young 14-year-old boys are feeling and what they have to go through socially every day at school, and just puberty and life change and 4 years before you're a man. And it's just really, really tough for them. And so we're just taking this weekend to embrace them and love on them a little harder. And rest in peace, Harley. You are gone, but not forgotten. Bye.